7th. Israel has responded with airstrikes that have killed hundreds of Hezbollah fighters. Well, let's get more on this with Mohamed Taha from BBC Arabic. So quite a dramatic warning from Hassan Nasrallah, and it's quite serious at this stage, isn't it, the relationship between Israel and Lebanon with Hezbollah?
It is very indeed serious. We saw in the last few days escalation between Hezbollah and Israel. We saw Hezbollah shown some footage from undetected drone for several Israeli military posts in Haifa and other Israeli cities. Also, Israel is continuing launching attacks on southern Lebanon. This caused, as witnesses said, in southern Lebanon, destroying completely some villages, exactly like what's happening in Gaza. A leader also of Hezbollah was killed a few days ago. There is a massive escalation, and apparently the Israeli media is talking about unease happened between the Israeli Prime Minister and the American envoy for Lebanon in their meeting a few hours ago. This happened because apparently Israel is preparing a plan of launching a full-scale war against Lebanon anytime soon, and the Americans are not happy with that.
And so what would the impact be in the region if that did happen, if they went ahead?
Indeed, that will be a destructive for the whole region. We saw the war in Gaza and the impact in the region, the humanitarian situation of the people in Gaza, how they are suffering, how they are hungry, how they are in desperate. If this happened in Lebanon and Hezbollah military capabilities is much more than Hamas in Gaza, they are capable of striking Tel Aviv, they are capable of striking Haifa, and they threaten of targeting Cyprus as well if Cyprus facilities would be used in the Israeli attack. So this is a warning not only for Israel, but also for Israel alliances, whether the United States and the European Union, that this will be a full-scale regional war.
And as you mentioned that Hezbollah are better armed than Hamas, and they say in that statement, the leader of Hezbollah said that they'd used so far only a fraction of their weapons.
Of course, it's what was happening since the 7th of October is clearly tactical war between Israel and Hezbollah. They are targeting specific posts in each side. They are targeted. It's not a full-scale attack from both sides. We saw in 2006 when Hezbollah started to launch missile attacks towards Haifa and Tel Aviv, and how this was a massive war, and that was lots of time before. Imagine now, after 18 years from that, how the military capabilities of Hezbollah developed, and how this could be a full-scale war will affect Lebanon, of course, the infrastructure in Lebanon, the villages in Lebanon. There will be massive suffering in Lebanon, and there will be a massive suffering in Israel that Benjamin Netanyahu was calling it earlier an existential threat to Israel. I think Israel, with the current situation, cannot afford such amount of full-scale war, but apparently Benjamin Netanyahu is preparing for it.
So, and in the meantime, we've got a slightly different story, but Canada is saying it's barring thousands of Iranian government officials. What are the implications for Iran and for Canada for this?
Indeed, this is a very long-awaited decision. The relationship between Iran and Canada was deteriorated since Iran downed the Ukrainian plane in January 2020, killing 176 people, including 85 Canadian citizens. So the families of these citizens were calling for this decision for a very long time. The implication would be, might be that these families would now be allowed to have law cases against Iran in Canadian courts. There will be financial implications, maybe freezing assets in Canada. So there will be a massive amount of implications towards Iran and towards the relationship, the already deteriorated relationship between Iran and Canada.
And we've had a reaction from Iran's foreign ministry spokesman saying, condemning this listing of the Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organisation. What, aside from condemning it verbally, what other reactions do you think we'll get from Iran?
Indeed, Iran would not be happy with the decision because there will be implications of that. We saw last month a court in Iran condemned 10 unidentified people of downing the Ukrainian plane. They decided to give $150,000 to each family of the victims, but apparently this wasn't enough for Canada, wasn't enough for the families. That's why this decision came. I think the implications, the financial implications on Iran would be more, and this is adding to the Western pressure against Iran, the growing pressure around the nuclear program, around what the is calling as supporting terrorism, and also the situation of human rights in Iran.
Mohamed Taha, thank you very much indeed for coming to talk to us. Thank you. Now, new research suggests that gentle shock waves could be used to regenerate the